everyone, welcome to this tutorial. Today I want to introduce some tricks about how to use IrfanView to extract Google Earth 3D data. There are only two softwares we're going to use today. One is IrfanView, which is an image viewer editor, and you can get the really good screen grabs from the software. And the other one is Google Earth Pro. Both of them are available online. I will put the links in the description for you guys to download. Before we start, if you're not familiar with photogrammetry technology and Google Earth 3D models, please have a look at this tutorial made by Solar Engineer. This tutorial introduced some basic knowledge about why we get screen grabs from Google Earth 3D and how we build point clouds from those screen grabs by using Pix4D, which is a photogrammetry software. And in my tutorial, I will show you how to quickly and automatically get lots of screen grabs of an area in Google Earth 3D. Okay, let's open Google Earth Pro. Firstly, pick the area you want to extract the 3D model data. You could search or put in coordinates. I will use Sydney Opera House area as an example today. To have City's 3D model display correctly, please make sure you turn off all the layers except for 3D buildings and terrain. Let's go to the top view now. We need to draw camera paths for our flying cameras by using this Add Path tool. We need to use a continue polyline to form a grid. Our camera will follow this polyline and capture every perspective of this area. And the grid should be relatively small to make sure the camera can capture all of the area. Once we've done the path, please give it a name and don't forget to change the altitude. We don't want our camera on the ground. Make sure you have your path above the buildings. After that, with your path selected, you could click on this Play Tool button. Your camera will follow your path and fly over the area. Now we need to change camera settings, which is under Tools Options. You will find the touring at the third tab. In the touring, there are settings for creating a tool from lines. The first one is change camera tilt angle. I usually have this set at 60 degrees to make the camera tilt to a certain angle to get the geometry size. And after one round screen grabs, I will set this to 0 and run another round screen grabs to get the top view of the geometries. The next one is camera range. If you have small grid, you could have a small number on camera range to get high resolution on details. If your grid is big, you may want to keep the camera range number higher to make sure capture all the areas. And this is related to the path altitude as well. You may need to try several times to find out the best settings for your area. And the last one is speed. We want to keep this relatively slow to give Google Earth enough time to load geometries and materials, unless you have a very large area to cover. And you may want to fly the tool at least once before the screen grabs to load data into cache. Then let's set up the screen grabs. Open your IrfanView. Under Options, there's Capture Screenshots. The shortcut is C. There are multiple options available with IrfanView. In our case, let's set up the capture area to 7 fixed screen rectangles, because we only want to capture certain area on the screen. There are two capture methods. You could set up your hotkey, but today we will use automatic timer, which allow us to get the screen grabs when the camera is flying. You can also save the file to certain folder automatically. To trim out the extra information like Google Earth interface, logos, navigation panels, we need to set a fixed screen grab area. This extra info will affect the photogrammetry outcome. To work out the start point and the rectangle width and height, you could open IrfanView Capture Screen Grab settings, change capture area to number 5, custom rectangle region capture, and it will show you the start and end point of the rectangle you draw. If you're using a 1920 by 1080 screens like me, you could try my settings. Now we can start the screen grabs. Let's set the timer to 1 or 2 seconds. Depends on the flying speed, and start the touring. Now the screen grabs has been done. You could close the IrfanView now, and if you open the folder, you will find all the screen grabs have been saved to the folder. Now you could use these screen grabs to make a photogrammetry.